Hello, this is Colleen Shoemaker with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to the podcast. We are here today to talk with candidates running in the November 5th, 2024 general election. We are grateful for the support of the Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me is Tony Morse, running for City of Portland Council for District 4, which covers Portland west of the Willamette River, plus a portion of Southeast Portland. Welcome, Mr. Morse.
Thank you, Colleen. It's nice to be here.
Please tell us a little about yourself and why you're running for this office.
Happy to. My name's Tony Morse. I'm running for Portland City Council District 4, and I'm running for Portland City Council because our city has an addiction crisis, and I believe that we need a recovery champion in City Hall to help solve it. I've been in recovery for over 7.5 years. I'm the former policy director of an organization focused on solving the state's addiction crisis. In that capacity, I've done a lot of work in Salem. I've worked with the legislature. I've briefed Governor Kotek. I also helped elect Governor Kotek in a different role. And I want to take that experience along with my own personal lived experience and apply it here locally to help our city improve public safety, solve housing and homelessness, and also, of course, get our arms around the drugs and addiction crisis.
What are your ideas for working productively with the other council members from your district?
Certainly. So it's important to remember that this new form of government, City Council, will function as a legislative body. And what I'm offering voters is that I have quite a bit of legislative experience. As I mentioned, I've worked in Salem. I understand the process of moving legislation through the building, or in some cases, stopping legislation that the organization I was working with believed was not good public policy. One of the first big lifts that this new legislative body, this new city council will have is to stand up and create a functional legislature. I'm ready to do that on day one. Also, I am somebody who has a very broad base of endorsements. I'm one of very few candidates to be endorsed by Portland City Commissioners Renee Gonzalez, Carmen Rubio, and Dan Ryan, which demonstrates that I'm someone who's capable of working with others from across the spectrum of different perspectives. I'm also one of 6 candidates to be endorsed by both the Northwest Oregon Labor Council and United for Portland, the business table, and that is one of 6 candidates across the entire city. I really am somebody who can work with folks regardless of what their perspective is, and I'm excited to be a convener and a collaborator for the residents of District 4 and for Portland as a whole.
What, if any, actions would you consider taking to address the current concerns related to the critical energy infrastructure hub on the Willamette River?
So I do want to call attention to the fact that it is National Preparedness Month, and what a great time to be having this conversation. Ultimately, we need to allow the current work around seismic reporting and potential upgrades and reinforcements that were passed in the last year to take effect. And to that end, we need to be a partner in helping them find local, state, and federal funding to do the upgrades that are achievable and cost effective. So we need to make sure that we are prepared for worst case scenarios. And back to your question about collaboration, that's not just among city councilors, it's with all layers of government. And this is an issue that has been given attention by the state legislature and the state as a whole, I should say. And we need to make sure locally that we're following through.
You are listening to the Video Voters Guide interview and podcast of Tony Morse, who's running for City of Portland Council for District 4. Are you satisfied with the performance of the Joint Office of Homeless Services? And if not, what changes would you support? Please explain your answer.
Colleen, thank you. And I think I speak for most Portlanders when I say, no, I am not satisfied. And I am going to cite to what we all see every day when we spend time in the city. Homelessness is a crisis, and we have long been in an emergency in this city. And we need to start improving outcomes right away. To that end, we need to recognize that solving this issue does require a strong, productive partnership between the City of Portland and Multnomah County. Therefore, I would say that the best path forward at this point is to remain engaged in the Joint Office of Homeless Services. But we need to do so with an eye towards accountability. And if the county, who holds the lion's share of funding and resources for this issue, is proving to be an unproductive partner, we need to show that we are going to hold them accountable. And we can do that by reminding them that our investment in this joint venture is not to be taken for granted. And if they are unwilling to improve their partnership with us, then maybe we need to take that investment back and look at more solitary or not solitary, but things the city can do independent of what the county would like us to be doing in tandem with them.
We have just about half a minute left. So would you like to answer what skills, experience, and interests distinguish you from other candidates for this position?
Sure.
You're on.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, I have extensive legislative experience, and I am ready on day one to start standing up this new legislative body that's going to be Portland's new city council.
Thank you. Anything additional?
Oh, sure. Just being mindful of the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And as a person in long-term recovery, I do bring a certain perspective to the addiction crisis, public safety, and the housing and homelessness crisis that I think positions me to work with the county on a level that we've not seen recently from our city leadership.
I thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Morse.
Thank you, Colleen.
This concludes our Video Voters Guide and podcast interview of the League of Women Voters of Portland of Tony Morse, running for City of Portland Council for District 4. Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. To find additional election resources, please visit the League of Women Voters of Portland's website, lwvpdx.org, and then exercise your right to vote. Your voice matters. Thank you for your interest.